a frustrating evening, your first defeat at Vale Park since November, but a lot of positives to take from that into Wycombe on Saturday.
Well, as I say, there's been a bit of negativity, I think, around the club. There has been, obviously, with the season that we've been having, but instead of dwelling on the disappointment of losing tonight, I think we do have to be positive, because I honestly think that if the team can play like they did tonight for the remainder of the games, then we'll get enough points to be safe, because I thought they did everything that I asked in terms of effort and commitment. But they played some good football. They got a lot of balls in the box from wide areas, and they posed a threat. We've worked the goalkeeper, probably could have worked him a bit more, but we got some decent efforts on target. Should have scored, and I think if you'd have been interviewing me and we'd drawn the game, I'd have been disappointed as well, because I think we deserved to win tonight.
Talk about the positivity there, a lot of crosses going in. David Worrell put in some great balls, but no one could just get that vital touch. Would you put maybe perhaps a bit down to luck? It just would not cross the line.
Well, I think the other thing is you know, it's been well documented. We don't have a lot of goal scorers at the club in terms of people who've regularly scored in the last, in their career or in the last couple of seasons. And the one person that we have had this season has been Tom Pope, who's not playing. So we knew that is it's an area where we know it needs improving, but we've got to work and keep working. Obviously with the players that we have, and they've got to produce some goals. But at times we could have taken up some better positions in the box. I think from wide areas, could have got across the marker at the back post. I think forwards at times we had a couple of opportunities where the touches just let them down, the balls ran away from them when they had opportunities to, they could have scored. But we've got to be positive, like you say, going into the Wycombe game. I feel that all the games are the same. Exeter tonight they're in the playoffs now with that result. There hasn't been a lot of difference between the teams tonight, and I know the main stat and the only important stat is that they've scored one and we haven't scored, but everything else been in our favour tonight. We've had more shots, more crosses, more possession. Everything's would point to the fact that we should be winning the game tonight. So it's disappointing, and it's so hard at the moment. Keep doing interviews after games where we've not won. It's it does obviously get to you, but I've got to lift the players. We've got to be positive for Saturday, and we say we've got to go there and try and win again.
You look at the recent performances and recent results. The difference has been by one goal apart from the Cheltenham game. Would it be down to perhaps a lapse in concentration at the back that just needs fixing, and you can build on from that with the positivity and creativity you've got in the side right now?
I think the one negative from tonight was the goal we conceded. It was a poor goal. We shouldn't be conceding, and you'd have to say the two goals on Saturday were down to poor defending. So we need a clean sheet, especially at home. I think at home you need to keep clean sheets at home. Obviously more difficult away from home, but we've got to keep the belief. We've got to keep going. We've got to be positive, and like I say, the attitude is good amongst the players. The attitude in the camp is good in the dressing room. They're just all really frustrated. They're all sort of scratching their head and thinking, what do they have to do to get a win? But nobody's going to give us that win, and we've got to keep going, keep believing. I think we know we're in for a really big week with the Wycombe game, and then with Chesterfield and the Crewe game. And hopefully you're speaking to me in another week's time. We've had some positive results, but we've got to keep going. And like I say, the result is disappointing, but not the performance.
And just finally, Cole Hawkins, how pleasing is it to see him return to the starting lineup? He's a young lad, but seems to handle himself quite well, and he's hit the ground running at the club.
Yeah, I think his first game at Swindon he was a little bit rusty, but he's grown in confidence, and I thought he did really well tonight. He did well in the Grimsby game. He was obviously injured for the game at Barnet, but he's come back in tonight, and I thought he did well.